Good afternoon. Thank you for joining our webinar on GCL Tech today. Sustainable Fitch has published the GCL Technology Holdings limited entity rating of 2 and entity score of 70. So this is Jade Lee from Fitch Ratings APAC Investor Development Team. Joining me today, Marcus Cho, Associate Director from Sustainable Fitch. So in today's webinar, Marcus will first guide us through the presentation on ESG entity rating methodology and the key rating drivers of GCL Tech. So we will be taking questions in the Q&A session after the presentation. You can type in your questions at any time using the Q&A box on the bottom of your screen. We've also enabled live captions with translation. So if you'd like translated captions, please turn on captions, select translate, set the speaking language to English, and then choose your preferred caption language. So with that, I will now hand over the line to Marcus. Marcus, over to you.
Thank you, Jade. Hello, everyone. I'm Marcus Chow, Associate Director, Ratings and Opinion of Sustainable Fitch. So Sustainable Fitch has assigned an entity rating of 2 to GCL Technology Holdings Limited and a score of 70 and December 22nd of 2025. So in this webinar, I will be explaining our entity rating methodology and the key rating drivers that leads to the results of an entity rating of 2 today. So just in case that you haven't heard a lot about our Sustainable Fitch's entity rating product, our entity rating evaluates the impact of an entities on environmental, social, and governance matters. Or by entity, I'm talking about corporates or financial institutions. So this methodology is designed based on international recognized market good practices and also science-based taxonomy. You can consider this entity rating is based on an absolute scale and is applicable, comparable across different sector. So on the screen, you can see this is our overall scoring model that finally comes up with the entity rating. Under this model, there are 5 factors, each assigned with different weights. Part A is the what we call the strategy overview, which contributes to 10% of the overall entity rating. Here we are evaluating the degree of sustainability embedded in the strategy, in the commitments, and also the disclosure of an entity. Part B, which contribute to 45% of the overall rating, and which is also, in my opinion, the kind of most important part of this analysis, is on the analysis of business activities. So here we are evaluating the business activities impact, positive or negative impact towards the environment and also the society. And entities would have very different outcome here. Really depends on the revenue share of different business activities. Some business activity happens to be more green, some will be having more environmental impacts to the market, etc. So if you have more green activities in your portfolio, that would kind of increase your entity rating. So the beauty of this model is to, so it is applicable to any entities with different different portfolio of business activity. For example, if you're talking about conglomerates, which have very distinctive different business activities overall, in some ESG rating methodology, they could only evaluate this entity using a rather broad-brushed conglomerate model. But this would fail to really illustrate the actual impacts of this entity at the end of the day. And also our rating here, if the business activities, environment, or social score is in general very good, then we may be assigning what we call the pure player label to this entity, meaning that we assume any use of proceed of this of any bonds issued by this entity would be meeting the ICMA's green bond or social bond principles requirement on use of proceeds. Okay, so this is why we are focusing on evaluating individual business activities here, and the weight of contribution by business activities really is about the revenue share, and this information is obtained from the financial statements of entities. So you will see how I did that with GCL technology later. The final three factors are environmental, social, and governance profile. Each of them contribute to 15% to the final entity rating. We are not assessing business activities here, but in general aspects like, okay, do you have appropriate policies in place? Do you disclose the performance metrics properly? Have you set the target? And how do you manage risk along supply chain, etc.? So this is a nutshell to our entity rating methodology, and we come to the entity that we assess today, which is the GCL Technology Holdings Limited. I need to be clear here that the entity that we are analyzing is the one with the stock code 3800 listed in Hong Kong Stock Exchange, okay? Because we are not assessing any other GCL Group's subsidiaries or GCL Group itself, okay? We are only looking into GCL Technology. So GCL Technology is a global supplier of photovoltaic materials. They specialize in production of solar-grade polysilicon, silicon wafers, and metallurgical grade silicon, or someone would call it silicon metal. It has 13 production sites across China and has reported a workforce of around 9,300 as of the end of 2024. GCL Technology has around 25% of market share of solar-grade polysilicon products in China, and China has over 80% of global market share in solar PV technology manufacturing. This means that GCL Technology is a company with a rather important role in the global solar energy market. And we have assigned the entity rating of 2 to GCL Technology, a score of 70. So a rating of 2 here would imply a good overall ESG profile. And I think one of the key major driver really is we are recognizing the manufacturing activities of GCL Technology as green enabling, which I will explain the concept later. And furthermore, the technology that the company uses to produce solar-grade polysilicon is also having less carbon emission per kilogram of outputs. It's less carbon intensive, which is therefore we are applying a more positive view here. Furthermore, GCL Technology has ESG risk management structure in place. They have a dedicated department managing ESG matters, They set ESG strategy, etc. And we also have not identified any major environmental, social, or compliance-related incidents in the past 3 reporting periods. The rating is a little bit negatively affected by the fact that GCL technology actually having increasing environmental metrics in absolute terms in the past few years, meaning that they have increasingly they have more carbon emissions, they consume more energy and water, etc. So this is due to the expansion of production lines in the recent years. But in terms of intensity, meaning that on a per kilogram of output basis, they are actually having the intensity is decreasing. Put it this way, yeah. So the rating also is negatively affected by uh, a male-dominating workforce and also the board of directors. I would say this is quite common across manufacturing sector, especially in China, which is not surprising actually. And the board of directors have a rather lower level of independence director. So less than half of the board members are independent. I would say this is not like the best market practice. However, it is also quite common across companies listed on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. So next, I will be deep dive into each pillar and explain the results. So first one is the strategy overview, and the rating here is excellent. Um, this well, we have assigned this rating given that we do appreciate GCL technology have a very clear sustainability strategy. They know what they have to do in terms of like becoming a more sustainable company, and the strategy mainly focus on enhancing the energy efficiency of its production, and so as also to reduce the carbon intensity of the production activities. Um, Furthermore, they also provide life cycle carbon footprint data of their products to the customer, and we think this is quite important because the there's one concern of global solar power technology manufacturers is that okay, our activity is green. Okay, we are generating energy, reducing the reliance to fossil fuel, but the upstream activities is still quite carbon intensive, especially like you have to extract silicon, you have to purify silicon. And we think that if the carbon footprint of the product, the polysilicon products is more transparent to the downstream manufacturers, it will be supporting the adoption of solar energy overall. So we come to the business activities here. So you can see these are the two business segments reported by GCL Technology in their latest annual reports. They have solar material business and also solar farm business, which the solar farm business is pretty insignificant, I would say. It operates solar farms in China and the United States. We rate it as excellent because, after all, generating solar energy is a green activity. It reduces reliance to fossil fuels, and it meets the substantial contributing criteria to climate change mitigation under the EU taxonomy. So a score of 1 here. Um, for solar material business, you can see GCL technology covers almost all upstream activities of the solar energy technology. So they do it up to the production of silicon wafer. And this is the main business of GCL technology. I'll explain later, but the environmental rating here is good. We are appreciating the nature of this business to be green enabling. That means while the activity itself is not green and probably also quite energy intensive in itself, but without this activity, you won't have any solar energy. Okay, so this is a green enabling activity in our opinion. Um, the social rating for both business segments will be average, meaning that we don't see these business activities to be specifically contributing to any social related uh, uh, UN sustainable development goals here. I'm talking about things like supporting education, providing necessary essential service and infrastructure to those in need, etc. So I'll explain a bit about our environmental view to the solar material business in particular. Um, the company's main business is to manufacture solar-grade polysilicon. Um, and if you want to produce wafers for solar panel. So in general, what you do is first you have to extract silicon dioxide that is quartz, and then you have to purify the quartz and come up with silicon with 98 to 99% purity, and this is what we call the metallurgical grade silicon, and this is not pure enough for generation of solar energy. So you have to go through another process to further purify silicon until it reaches 99.9999% purity. And this will be what we call the solar grade polysilicon. And this is quite ready for to make it into wafer. And you still have steps to go through. You have to uh, come and grow the ingots. You have to make the polysilicon into an ingot, and then you have to slice it into wafer. Then at this point, you are ready to supply to the solar panel manufacturers. Okay, for making solar panels, and also as GCL technology has the capacity of handling ingot. It also have some OEM contracts from some customers. They will send through the ingots, and then GCL technology will slice it and then sell back the wafers to those customers. Right, so this is how the uh, whole manufacturing of solar materials work. And I've also labeled the sales contribution of different kinds of products by GCL technology here. One thing to note is that the solar grade polysilicon is of course the bread and butter to the company. The sales is like taking a share of 58%. But in the recent 2 years, the company has extended the production line to more upstream to manufacturing of metallurgical grade silicon from silicon dioxide. Now, while all these processes are quite energy intensive, and it may also like having some direct carbon emission on site. Um, what we are looking into here to is what really is this products contributing to downstream. Okay, so in the case of GCL technology, through engagement, um, we understand that no matter it is solar grade polysilicon, ingots, wafer, uh, all of them will go into manufacturing of PV panels or any PV related materials. It's just that some of the metallurgical grade silicon that GCL Tech produce have sold to some non-solar manufacturers downstream in 2024. So we also have noted this share of the sales and apply a negative view on this small fraction of revenue contribution. But overall, given that all these activities are enabling solar power downstream, we apply a positive view here. And furthermore, we also appreciate the fact that GCL technology is now using the fluidized bed reactor method to produce the solar grade polysilicon. The more common way of doing this in the industry would be the use of Siemens method, which is more energy intensive. Now, no matter it is Siemens method or fluidized bed reactor method, in short, FBR method, the theory is very similar. It is about like a thermal deposition process of silicon-containing gas, such as selene and trichlorosilane. Okay, so the process is like you have a pure silicon uh, in either a rod form, uh, like in the Siemens method, or in a granular form, like in the FBR method. And then you pass through the silicon containing gas, where you heat up the silicon, you pass through the gas and let the silicon in this gas deposit on the rod or on the granule. So you come up with very pure uh, silicon. For Siemens method, it is more energy consuming, mainly because number one, it operates under higher temperature. The operating temperature is like exceeding 1,000 degree Celsius. Furthermore, the process is a batch nature. Like you have a raw silicon here. First, you have to heat up the whole thing, let the silicon deposit on it, and then you have to cool it down. Okay, then that's one batch, and you have to heat up again, cool down again for another batch. Okay, so this is not this is less efficient, and according to some peer-reviewed research, doing this in China would result in cradle-to-gate carbon footprints of 106 kilogram carbon dioxide equivalents per kilogram of solar-grade silicon produced. GCL technology has had used this method, but they have no longer they ceased the production of polysilicon using Siemens method since June 2023. So now they are using fluidized bed reactor method, and the beauty of this is it is a fully continuous process. And you only need to heat up the whole system around 600 to 800 degrees Celsius. So you heat up the system, you keep running the silicon-containing gas through the system, and then they will keep the outputs of granular polysilicon continuously. So GCL technology has invited external verifiers to verify the cradle-to-gate and also gate-to-gate carbon footprints of their polysilicon product. And it turns out the gate-to-gate carbon footprint is 14 kilogram carbon dioxide equivalent per kg of product outputs in the plants in Inner Mongolia. The cradle-to-gate carbon footprint is 41 kilogram carbon dioxide equivalent. So you can see it is compared to the 106 on the left. It has reduced quite a lot, and therefore, when we are analyzing GCL technologies entity rating, we will consider much better environmental rating to the solar material business activities. Okay, I finished on the business activities, and we go into environmental, social, and governance profile. So first off, environmental profile, we look into whether the company has environmental policies in place addressing different environmental topics, and whether there's environmental management system in place, and they get an excellent because all subsidiaries have got ISO 14000 EMS there. Disclosure is also achieving excellent because they have disclosed the environmental matrices appropriately in the ESG reports, and they even have scope 3 emissions disclosure, which cover majority of the production activities. So there's a positive sign here. However, on evolution, in which we are assessing the trend of environmental metrics, as I've mentioned earlier, the absolute carbon footprint, energy consumption, all sort of environmental metrics have been increasing in the past few years. And that would drive down the overall rating here. We also cannot comment on scope 3 emission because the GCL technology only started to disclose this number quite recently, and we don't have enough data for trend analysis. And without data, we have to apply a more negative view here. For targets and supply chain targets, the rating here is excellent. Given that GCL technology has announced some carbon neutrality goals. And there's a scope 1 and 2 neutrality by 2040 and scope 1, 2, and 3 neutrality by 2050. These targets are quite recent, I would say. I remember it should be like in Q4 of 2025 they have this, but we are taking these into account when we are determining the rating of this factor. Also on supply chain, we understand that in 2024, GCL Technology has done due diligence to some key material suppliers. I have to say it's not everyone, but they have been increasing this coverage in 2025, so we are also having a positive view here. Lastly, on risk and incident treatment, we do not see any critical environmental incidents in the past 3 years. On social profile, we look into human rights and labor rights policies. We have assigned an excellent here, given that their policies are aligning with their policies are with reference to some global conventions like the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and also the International Labor Organization's principle. GCL Technology has also tell us that there is no fatality or severe incidents to employees and contractors in the past few years. On diversity, this is also one of the negative drivers of the overall rating, given that the workforce is male-dominated, and also there's no disclosure on gender pay gap data. On community and customers, they are proactively engaging in community initiatives, which is good, and they have good customer feedback through their customer satisfaction rates. And we also don't observe any key social incidents in the past 3 years. On governance profile, the overall rating is good here, and we on financials and reporting, we do not see any. The GCL Technology received unqualified opinion to the financial reports between 2022 and 2024. On the top management and control, there are some more positive and negative consideration here. On the positive side, the company's internal audit function is pretty independent, while the rating may be driven down a bit given the male-dominating board of directors. And also, as I've mentioned, the percentage of independent directors is not exceeding 50%. But one point I will also positive point I will also like to uh, note here is they have introduced an ESG expert to the board as an independent non-executive director in 225. So there's also a positive driver here. Um, so I think I stop here for the time being. I know we may not have a lot of time to go through all the details. So in case you have any questions, feel free to ask. And also you can download this entity rating reports from our website. So I pass the time back to Jade.
Thanks very much for the presentation, Marcus. So now we can start with Q&A session. And as a reminder, please type in your questions using the Q&A box on the bottom of your screen. We've got some questions coming through the screen right now. So the first question is, GCL Technology has got a good environmental rating for its business activity, but the activity itself is not green. If GCL Technology issue a bond to finance its business activities and Sustainable Fitch is to provide a second party opinion, would you consider the instrument a green bond? Marcus.
Okay, thanks for the question. So yeah, it's true that the activity in itself is not green. Um, However, I also emphasize the concepts of green enabling. And in 2024, the ICMA has published a document that recognizes the use of proceed um, of if the use of proceed happens to be a green enabling activity, then the UOP is qualified for a green bond. Okay, so technically speaking, if GCL Technology has like deliberately mentioned that okay, the UOP is to my solar material business and also the output of the business line of the production line is definitely contributing to downstream solar panel manufacturing, then this would be recognized as green UOP. And of course, they still have to uh, like fulfill the other pillars under the green bond principle, say the project evaluation and selection, management of process, and also reporting and transparency. But if all these are met, then that would mean this bond specifically is a green bond.
Thanks, Marcus. So the second question is, Sustainable Fitch rates GCL Tech as environmentally enabling entity rating 2, but notes rising absolute environmental metrics as capacity expands. How to interpret that trade-off in our credit or ESG assessment? Do we prioritize intensity improvements or absolute emission trajectory? And what data would need from the company to validate it?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So first of all, as I've said, the increment, the increase of carbon emission overall has been due to the production line expansion. And I think if you go speak to the GCL Technology person, they may be telling you they will be expecting the expansion to be a bit slowed down, I would say. So in that case, given the reduction of intensity, hopefully the absolute emission would go down here. And as I've said, if you have no solar grade polysilicon, you have no solar panel. Okay, so you're correct that there's a trade-off to of solar energy production, but the key really is behind each solar panel, what would be the carbon footprint there, and therefore we consider the intensity being the correct measurement here.
Thanks, Marcus. So the next question. Just a reminder that now we have last question on the line. So if you have any other questions on GCL Tech, please submit through the Q&A box. So the next question is, what is your outlook to GCL Technologies entity rating moving forward, and why?
Yeah, I think it will be improving based on what I have read from them. Mainly because we may expect some reduction of environmental footprints of the overall production. And also, they have been like putting more things in place. For example, I've mentioned for supply chain risk management, they are starting to do more due diligence. They are covering more key suppliers or key or not key suppliers. So I think the perspective here would be more positive. And furthermore, I think they are also the size of the uh, silicon metal manufacturing may also be uh, reducing a bit, given the overall production size will no longer be further expand.
Thanks, Max. So there's one more question coming in, but I'm not sure if we can address this. So this one is sustainable Fitch notes limited workforce and board gender diversity at GCL Tech. So from a bank perspective, does this constitute a material governance or reputational risk for our relationship? And should we set minimum expectations or an engagement plan?
Material governance or reputation risk. I won't say that. As I've mentioned, the workforce gender diversity for a male-dominating workforce for manufacturing sector is quite understandable. So whether it's a very material risk, I don't think so. On the board side, there isn't a very hard requirement for the gender balance in the board, and I also don't think it is a immediate governance risk. Put it this way, but if as a bank your objective is to um, make sure that you are financing companies with a more balanced gender, then of course this is something that you want to speak to them specifically. But will this be like changing to a more balanced gender rapidly? Probably not. Will take some time. So yeah, if you want to monitor it, engage by all means.
Thanks, Marcus. So I believe we don't have any other questions. Thanks everyone for your participation in today's webinar, and we do hope you find it useful. We will send out replay link together with the presentation deck tomorrow. So if you have any other follow-up questions, please do feel free to reach out to any of our analysts or investor development team. So thank you once again for joining the webinar. You may now disconnect.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Marcus. Thanks, Jackie.